So you were a fan because you said you were a collector. Did you read graphic novels? Like, is that something like you've read the book and you were a fan of it beforehand, obviously?
Yeah. I as a kid, I grew up collecting and reading comic books. And then towards the late 70s, I kind of dropped off. And I don't know that it was necessarily an age thing. I was just more interested in other things. And I kind of trailed off. And then in the early 80s, Frank Miller came out with The Dark Knight Returns.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really out of touch at that point. And a friend of mine gave the book to me and I read it and I went, this is insane. I mean, I can't believe this. And then he gave me Watchmen and it was complete game changing. I mean, I always thought that Marvel and DC in their own way in the 60s, excuse me, in the 70s could take on more adult themes like drug addiction and stuff and racism and things like that, but they couldn't delve as deep as these guys were able to do. So I just thought, wow, this is, and all of a sudden they were no longer stigmatized as being, comic books. All of a sudden, it was dignified with the title, graphic novel.
No, you couldn't call them comic books. You got to call them graphic novels or books.
Yeah, no, because people, purists get pissed off.
It's a very, very different thing. I remember seeing like my first graphic novel and being like in complete shock as to like not understanding what this was. Cause I was like, oh yeah, comic book, of course. And then you look at it and you're like, this is, wait, what is happening? What is this?
No. Well, I mean, and having two boys when they were little, and I had a collection of stuff, and they would kind of go in and dig around. And I remember they found one of the Deadpool comics when they were, and they were like, Dad, this comic book is really great. There's all this swearing. And I was like, whoa, no, guys, that's not Superboy. That, I was like, shit, it was so rough. I was recording a new Bosch book the other day, and the producer and engineer, I was talking about the new Deadpool movie, and he said, "Oh, my son has been begging me to take him to see it." And I said, "Oh, it's great. How old is your son?" He said, "He's 9." And I went, "No, absolutely." No. I said, "Look, this is just me. I'm not telling you how to raise your kid." But I started telling him some of the stuff, and he went, "Oh yeah, that's a hard no." And I went,
"Yeah,
yeah, no, definitely not. No,
that's a hard no." Our daughter. We used to go into my husband because she's obsessed with books. Our daughter is just this intellectual little child, 2.5, but she goes in, she pulls books off the shelf, and a lot of them would be my husband's graphic novels, and she'll pull them out, and she just will be like, "Mommy, it's bright red." And you're like, "Yeah, that's blood. That's blood. That is a head that has been blown off a body. We should probably put this away. We should probably." She's.
Yeah, and she'll figure out how to navigate and climb up those shelves. They always find a way.
Oh my God. And like the one thing they're like not supposed to like get to, they always get to. And